Hey everyone, this is Nick O'Malley here from masslab.com. Quick note that this video is brought to you by Munson Savings Bank, and I'm coming to you from the Georgia World Congress Center, which is better known this week as the Media Center at Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, and we're going to do something really cool here. We're here at what is the Super Bowl ring exhibit, which is a really cool thing in the fan experience here. The doors don't open for fans until about 3, so we're getting an early peek. Normally there would be a huge line here, but what we're going to show you is something really cool and something you can really only get at the Super Bowl. And you can see now, you can see we have every Super Bowl ring. There are really no qualifiers there. It's every Super Bowl ring ever. For example, we've got a 49ers ring here, but that's back in the 80s. Let's just scoop back around to what people really want to see. And this is the Super Bowl ring from Super Bowl 36. You can see it in there. This thing's really cool because it's just this big round exhibit in the middle of this big fan experience, so you can see all the fun stuff in the background, but you actually have this little magnifying glass. So you got this little ring, but you can slide it in front and it'll give you a better view. So we're going to get nice and close there, and so you get a nice view of the ring for the 2001 Patriots. Trying to keep focus there. And on the other side, we obviously have the name. And look at that! Look who got the whose name they got on there. They got a nice Brady ring. And right next to it, we've got two of its buddies. You can get the Super Bowl 38 and 39 rings here. So let's bring up the magnifying glass, and there it is. This one, as you can obviously see, has 2 of the Lombardi trophies on there for the 2003 Patriots. This is the Super Bowl they won against the Panthers. And roll a little bit further to the side, and hey, once again, it's a Brady ring. I'm not sure if that's actually his actual ring or they just picked that, but get nice. We'll get that one, and we're going to slide one more down to the Super Bowl 39 ring. This is the ring again in their first Super Bowl against the Eagles. And so the third ring, back-to-back champs, you can see on the side there, and slide a little further down. Let's see, it's Deion Branch. So, the pattern here, actually, we can probably establish the pattern here is, so the ring is assigned to the Super Bowl MVP. So the first 2 Patriots rings were for Brady, then Deion Branch. So this one's Hines Ward, and then this one is, that didn't have a name on it. I assume it's Peyton Manning. Dungy, Tony Dungy. So usually the Super Bowl MVP for each one. And if we're going to go a little further ahead, you got the Colts here, then going up. Yep, Charles Terry says MVP of the Super Bowl, and correct. That looks like it. This one should have it's a Giants one. That's a Strahan ring, so not all Super Bowl MVP. Strahan was not a Super Bowl MVP. This one is Santonio Holmes. That's the Steelers' 6th ring, which is a really nice looking ring with like the 6 big diamonds for their 6 championships. And so we're going to move on to the Saints. Nice ring there. And another one for the Packers. That was a big Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl. And there's his name on the side. And going up next, another Giants one. I'm sure Patriots fans want to see that. Ravens. Seahawks. And for those just joining us, we're taking a look inside the NFL fan experience at Super Bowl 53. We're at a cool exhibit where they have all of the Super Bowl rings. We're getting a sneak peek before the fans get in. And say that before we get right back into the real good stuff. This is the Patriots Super Bowl 49 ring right here, which is easily the most elaborate of the rings we've seen of the Patriots yet. So getting a nice close look with the little magnifying glass. And see, that's a Brady ring. Brady was Super Bowl MVP of Super Bowl 49. Swing it back around, try and catch the side. Hey, look at that. Do your job. 15-4 Patriots, who, of course, wrapped up that game with a big comeback against the Seattle Seahawks and a defensive stand on the goal line featuring a little player named Malcolm Butler on the 1-yard line. And so for Super Bowl 50 to the next one, we got a nice Broncos ring, but take a look at the most recent Patriots Super Bowl ring, which is just loaded with Lombardi trophies and giant world champion text. And here we have a Super Bowl 51 MVP Tom Brady emblazoned on the side of a just giant, gorgeous ring that's full of diamonds. And this is the one that's famous for having 283 diamonds on it. That was a big thing because it was sort of a dig at the 28-3 deficit the Patriots faced in that game, and so that was a little dig at the Falcons. You can just see it's just absolutely loaded with diamonds. And so we're gonna go real quick. This is the most recent Super Bowl ring, the Eagles one that they won in the last Super Bowl. I'm sure a lot of fans remember that. So we're gonna take a step back. We can come back to the Patriots Super Bowl rings, but I just want to take a step back and show this whole exhibit, which is on this cool podium in the middle of the fan experience, which is yet to open up. And so you have a lot of fan activities here, like 3-cone drill, a lot of drills that fans could run. And normally you'd have to go in through here, go up, and then go all the way around with this big line, but we're getting a sneak peek in because the doors haven't officially opened yet for fans. They will in another hour and a half. But sneak around here. Let's go back to earlier in time. Let's see what some of the early Super Bowl rings looked like. So this is really just a time warp back in NFL history. So we've got the first Super Bowl ring, which is the Packers, and look at this thing. It has 1 diamond. Yes, those are bedazzled helmets. Actually, once we're done with those, we're going to take a look at those, but they basically just have sparkly helmets for each of the teams around here. I believe. Yeah, we got take a quick look at one. They have the Patriots around here somewhere, but right here they have like a bedazzled Steelers helmet. They have all 32 teams here. That's one of the cool things about the Super Bowl, that in addition to celebrating the teams that are in it, they really do a really good job of representing all 32 teams. So even if you're not a fan of the team that comes here, you can still get a fun experience. So this is a look at the first ever Super Bowl ring. It has 1 diamond. The second Super Bowl ring went right up to 3. So even early on, there was some sort of one-upsmanship when it came to future Super Bowl rings. So this is the Jets when they beat the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl 3. That was the big Joe Namath game, that famous upset. And here we have the Hank Stram era Chiefs, led by Len Dawson, the game where head coach Hank Stram famously said they were going to keep matriculating the ball down the field. And here we have Baltimore Colts, their first Super Bowl ring. And we've got the Roger Staubach era Cowboys here. And these don't have as many diamonds, but they've definitely got some cool color schemes going on. Because it's less pure diamond, and you get some nice, really cool like sapphire settings here. That's the Dolphins here, back to back for the Dolphins. Oh, these were the 72 Dolphins. That's the undefeated season. Now let's move up here. We're in the Steelers dynasty now. So we get Steelers' first Super Bowl, Steelers' second Super Bowl. See, they go to the second diamond. And then we've got a brief respite from the Steelers dynasty with Raiders, a Cowboys championship, and now we're back to the Steelers' third championship and the final championship of the Rams, the Chuck Noll era, the 79 Steelers. That was one of the great teams ever with a steel curtain defense, Terry Bradshaw at the helm. But yeah, there's just a lot of great teams mixing here. We've got the Raiders, and we've got the first Joe Montana Super Bowl. I believe, yep, that's the Montana ring, and I believe this was after Niners-Bengals, the touchdown pass to John Taylor at the end of the game. And we're in the Joe Gibbs era now. We've got a Redskins Super Bowl ring. We've got, Los Angeles Raiders, LA team represented here. And then we've got some more 49ers. And the 85 Bears. This was the Patriots' first Super Bowl appearance. it did not go well for them. They were pretty well trounced by the famous '85 Bears, one of the greatest teams in NFL history. And that's a Richard Dent ring. It's a nice ring there. And the first Giants Super Bowl. This is the first one to have a Lombardi trophy on it, from what I saw. And we can go on now to the Redskins. Going up to 49ers again. Let's go up one more. It's a Super Bowl. We're at Super Bowl 24 now. Oh, this is the Steve Young game where they absolutely clobbered the Chargers. So, another 49ers ring. And we've got... this is the first of 4 straight Super Bowl appearances for the Bills. The first one they lost to the Giants. I believe that was the team that Bill Belichick was defensive coordinator for. Unless I'm mixing it up with another game. I might be. That was 1990. Yeah, that sounds right. Washington Redskins also beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, guess what they did? They also beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. And finally here, Dallas Cowboys beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. And come up here to the 49ers' 5th Super Bowl. And another Steve Young Super Bowl ring. Recurring theme here. And we've got one more Cowboys ring. This is the third of the Cowboys dynasty.
And the reason I bring that up is
the third in 4 years for that team for the famous era of Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. I don't know why I was blanking on that. Should know that. And here we have the Patriots' 2nd Super Bowl appearance. This one was against Brett Favre and the Packers. Did not go well for the Patriots. MVP of that Super Bowl was Desmond Howard, the former Heisman Trophy winner, who returned a kickoff for a touchdown. We've got not one, but 2 of John Elway's back-to-back Super Bowl rings here. And here, that one was for Terrell Davis, and this one's for Elway, the famous Super Bowl. This one's for John. And now we're getting up close back to the modern era Patriots, because here we have the Rams in that game where the Titans went down to the wire against them, and Kevin Dyson was tackled on the 1-yard line by Mike Jones to prevent a touchdown. Would have forced overtime. The Ravens here, the 2000 Ravens, the Ray Lewis era, one of those great dominant defenses. And then we're back up here to Super Bowl 36 with a little guy named Tom Brady and some coach named Bill Belichick defeating the heavily favored St. Louis Rams, 2001 Patriots. First Super Bowl victory for them. And now we're back up to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating John Gruden and the Buccaneers beating Gruden's old team, the Raiders, which is now his current team, the Raiders. Football's weird like that. Patriots' 2nd Super Bowl, 2003 Patriots, Super Bowl 38. Wonderful little game against the Carolina Panthers. Swing back around, get rid of that magnifying glass, and switch to this one. Yeah, some of these rings aren't particularly great. I feel like the Patriots have some good ones. They're a nice mix of flash and grandeur, and they seem clean, although this one's pretty big. It's got the giant letters on the outside. Charles Terry says the Seattle ring isn't great. Let's take another look at that. And Steelers' 5th Super Bowl. That was in 2005. Finished up this stretch here with the Indianapolis Colts.
It is an entry into the history book.
Here we've got, this was the 2007 Patriots where they lost to the Giants. Don't want to dwell on that one. Their fans probably don't want to. This is the Steelers' 6th Super Bowl. And we've got Saints. Checked out some of these already. Packers. Giants again. Ravens. And here's that Seahawks ring that Charles Terry was talking about. It doesn't have a lot of color. It's a lot of diamonds, not a lot of color. The ring doesn't really pop. I might agree with you there. And here we are with Super Bowl 49, where they beat the 49ers, and I would say they beat them in Super Bowl ring design. Tell me what you guys think. We got Patriots. We've got, man, it's just smaller.
Will be remembered for the path that you went.
That giant ring, and then we got this little baby ring.
Yes, sir.
Giant ring? Baby ring. Yeah, I'd say we'll go with this one. Nice giant ring. Super Bowl 50, nice gold one for the Broncos. And let's just finish up with one final look with these Super Bowl rings with the Patriots Super Bowl 51 ring, again with 283 diamonds, some giant text, and a kind of fitting way to remember the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history. And someone was asking about the bedazzled helmets earlier. We're going to swing back around. For those just... Charles Terry says the flashiness didn't match the Legion of Boom. He might be right. For those just joining us, we're at the Super Bowl fan experience inside the media center at the Super Bowl. It may seem kind of empty now. That's because it is. Fans aren't getting in here yet. So normally you'd have to wait through a giant line and have a bunch of Dolphins fans elbowing you to see... and probably Patriots fans clambering around the same Super Bowl rings that you wanted to see. But here, it's just you and me and, hey, a bedazzled Patriots helmet. As we mentioned earlier, the exhibit has a bunch of really just decorations showing off all 32 teams. This is the Patriots one up here. It's sitting right next to the Chiefs. Hey, look at that. Actually, up here is all the playoff teams. I just noticed that. Got Seahawks, Eagles, Cowboys, Saints, Rams. So down to the left are the NFC. Yeah, Fabian, that's a good point. It looks empty in here because it doesn't open until 3. Because I have the fancy media press pass, I get to come in by myself and steal an exclusive look at a lot of these things. There's a lot of stuff in here that we'll be checking out through the week, but today we're just focused on the rings and such because it's once things really get more buzz, it's really more of a spectacle. Now it's just a lot of empty exhibits, and that's not much fun. But for now, we'll just take a look at some rings because this is the real advantage of getting here early. And the rings are actually kind of everywhere in here. You can see they're showing them on big displays, and if you're standing in this area, really just get a constant view of NFL history and really just a good look at hardware that you would never see normally in real life. You can see down there, that's for the plebes, the non-NFL, the non-playoff teams, just hiding down there. And more rings up there. All right, folks, that's it for today from the Super Bowl. Well, this portion of the Super Bowl. We'll have more, but just this exhibit. We'll be checking in this area tomorrow when fans really start to filter in. We'll be able to get a view of all these QB drills. We'll be fans flying around and having all sorts of fun in here and checking out the cool exhibit. So we'll have more on that. Until then, folks, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all later from Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta.